Hello, dear friends. We are back to discuss a very important topic that is often talked about within the collective. This message is about hell. What is hell? Hell is a man-made creation created to control the population. With hell, or any fiery pit of damnation that has been created by you, control is much easier. Do not do this, or there is this consequence of forever torment. But fear not, friends. Hell does not exist. It never has existed and it never will exist. It simply cannot. Does this make sense? Now, we can talk about frequency, and we shall. The moment of your transition, you are in a certain frequency. Positive frequency, negative frequency, whatever the frequency may be. At the time of transition, people often ponder their life. What did they do? Were they a good person? Did they love others? This is what they ponder at the moment of transition before they go back home and the simulation ends. Now, let us take someone who is very religious, a devout Catholic perhaps, just to name one. And this person feels that they did something wrong in the eyes of that particular religion, in this case, Catholicism. At the moment of transition, they could be afraid of what is to come. There is immediate fear for them that they do not wish to pass and transition onward because they are afraid of what is coming for them on the other side. These ideas were planted within their minds, you see. Planted there. Little seedlings planted, often at early ages, and bloom and grow throughout life. When this occurs, fear is present. And fear is a very low frequency. Correct? So, thinking that there is a place of damnation, of eternal torment and torture and hell, they immediately place themselves there in their minds. Because you are always creating the circumstance on the other side. You are always creating what you see, what you feel, what you hear, your environment. You are creating that. That is how powerful you are as an energetic being. And when you have that kind of fear, you see, you create it. So, is there a hell? No, we tell you there is not. And we tell you that so that there is no fear. And there is no worry, because there is nothing to fear on the other side. However, if you have been conditioned your entire life to fear something so powerful, that is an energy frequency. And when this occurs, when you do transition and you do have that fear and you feel that that is where you belong in that frequency, that is where you will find yourself. However, it is not a source creation. It is a you creation. You are creating that experience for yourself because you feel that that is what you deserve, because that is what people have told you that you deserve. We could speak on karma, which is a completely different topic of conversation. So we will stick with the topic at hand of hell and the non-existence of it. So, if you feel strongly that that is where you will end up, or that is where you fear you will end up, you are creating that experience yourself, you see. We do not want this for you. You do not deserve to feel this fear. So we are telling you now that it does not exist and that there is nothing to fear about transitioning because you have done it so often, so many times before. It is natural. Now, if you find yourself creating this place of torment you call hell, this is how you get out of it. Listen close. If this occurs, you simply need to realize that you are the one creating it. You are the one creating this environment through frequency. You simply must change your frequency. Say to yourself that you don't deserve this, because you do not. And once you realize that that is true and that is the case, your situation and environment and frequency will shift and will change. The torment, the torturous environment you have created will simply disappear, change. As energy shifts and changes, you simply shift and change the energy into something much more pleasant, because you realize and remember who you truly are. It is the law of forgetfulness that makes things a tad difficult for you, unfortunately, and fortunately, and we will explain. The law of forgetfulness states that when you come to this earthly plane, you must forget the other side completely. You must forget the powers that you have, truly. This is because knowing and remembering exactly where you came from and the power that you truly have can be very difficult for some living a human life, which is a life of limitations. Does this make sense to you? We hope that it does. So, remembering everything immediately would be such a challenge with limitations, and would most likely become extremely frustrating. So, you are given a type of amnesia, we'll call it. However, when you transition, this amnesia that we call it takes some time to wear off, we'll say. So, until you remember who you truly are, once that amnesia wears off completely, then you realize you do not need to be punished for anything. There is no one being judging another. However, we ourselves, our biggest critics, our biggest judges. So we hope that what we've said to you today makes sense to you. We love you so much, and we only want the best for you. We love you very much, you brave and courageous souls. And we are simply trying to help you understand so that fear is erased. There is no fear in the transition process. It is calm, it is peaceful, it is pleasant, it is natural. Just as you have been born is the same as when you transition back home. So instead of creating something that is unpleasant and hellish due to low frequency, instead we wish you to create an experience that is beautiful and loving, because that is the experience that you deserve. Thank you so much for listening. Again, we love you dearly, friends. Until the next time.